Israel from Group 6, and for today's video, we will be interviewing our junior high school teacher who's a rising artist from Davao City, Miss Lizlee Enimido. Come on! Hi, Miss!
Hi, Al. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yes, what's up?
So, let's start with the first question. Describe your childhood, Miss.
My childhood is a colorful childhood. I grew up with my auntie, who is a seamstress, and I am mostly inclined to a lot of textiles, a lot of threads, with us surrounded with a lot of mostly Filipino furnitures, rattans, shells, chandeliers and lights, and copies with all that, and different Filipino textiles, especially Mindanao.
So, how old when you were, yung naging inclined ka na sa art? Tapos, how did your parents react?
As early as 5 years old, I already do a little of sketching, and with that also, when I was in grade 3, that's around, I don't know specifically the age, but that was my first time when I was sent by the school for a one month oil painting workshop.
Wow.
At grade 3, yes, grade 3.
So, during junior high school and college days, ano pang mga ginawa mo para develop your art?
In high school, I basically joined, because we have this drafting elective in high school. So I joined drafting. So that's where I specifically honed my talent, my skills, and my inclination to art. Though it's not about coloring, it's more on the technical things. But somehow, it's it gives me that pathway, avenue to proceed with what I like most. Then in college, since I was under academic scholar, I get to stop. But I have a little contribution in terms of school productions, stage mostly, and props, and that's it. But very minimal when I was in college, because you have to maintain grades, and that's the priority. That's it.
True. So, sa field ng art, who's your idol? And what is your favorite work of them?
We have these, since I grew up with a lot of artworks, Filipino crafts around us at home. I have this abstract work from Paco Borosque. I don't know if there are some strokes evident in my works also, but I am really interested with these strokes. It's not the typical. What do you call this? Abstract. But I really like the play of paintbrush there, including the play of these colors, mostly muted colors. But I find it so interesting that even until now, I look up to Paco Borospe. As to the whereabouts of him, I don't really have that much of his background, but mostly of his works. That's it. It's Paco Borospe.
Gusto ka naman, Miss.
Okay lang. Doing good, and yeah.
Okay, let's proceed to our next interview.
Yes, good afternoon.
I would like to ask is having a public art exhibit very important to an artist? If yes, why or why not?
Like exhibits, there are a lot of plus points to consider, because when we say exhibits, that's where mostly enthusiasts would come, collectors would come, and in short, there's a larger audience compared to the one that you just do for commission. Alright, that's very minimal to your own client. So that's why every artist has to showcase his or her work publicly through exhibits. But more than that, it's being added as a portfolio actually.
Do you help aspiring artists to develop their talents? If yes, how? If not, why not?
With me personally, I only have my students as my direct, should we say, direct learners. I'm hoping that maybe one or two out from the many would come out soon. Okay, would become an artist soon. However, there is no imposing. So just allowing them to explore on their craft. If they would go to me and would express. I have talked to few students who already graduated if they want to. But of course, if they want to join, I can put them in the gallery and come up, with the training. But of course, I would always consider their own commitment at the same time. Maybe soon when they're ready. So no forcing. Alright, no forcing. That's it.
Hi, Miss.
Hi. Yes. Very.
So, mag-ask lang dito sana ako, where do you get your inspiration po to start a painting or artwork?
I started with Disney characters, with Disney princesses. Then growing from high school to college, the typical self-expression. When you're happy, when you're sad, so you get to draw. But the time that I am at this age, and I have my son, and I look back that I am surrounded with all a lot of arts at home. So I said, why not create something that I can hand over to my son? So that's my initial. So I went back. I supposed to say goodbye to painting already because I'm growing old. There's no hope. I can just draw, but I promised to myself I will retire and I will do painting, and the rest of my painting should be at home as part of my pamana to my son. So that's why I enrolled my second degree, that's fine arts. I really took fine arts because of that. No intention of exhibit and no intention of selling. But yeah, since it's a pamana, I go back to I go back to what I really want to see at home. So I have been teaching like Philippine arts, Asian arts, Western arts, and performing arts. But what really triggers me, my collections are actually textiles, Philippine textiles. So since that's my collection, I thought of why not combine both paints and threads. So I initially do it, and my first out with that was the Mindanao Art 2020, wherein I get to receive a very good feedback. Why not continue it? Because none is doing it. We have Pasita Abad, but Pasita Abad is a trapunto, so in a tapestry. So why not divert it? So sabi ko, yes. So all the while, until now, I'm doing both threads and acrylics. Yes, threads and beads. So that's it. But it's Mindanaon. I hope to share in that concept of spreading our own rich culture in Mindanao. Because Luzon has its identity, Visayas has its identity also. But I just want to bring the very colorful and the very beautiful culture that we have in Mindanao. Especially if you get to talk to the tribes itself, they have all the wisdom. And for me, I hold that as my inspiration and mostly my work, and at the same time, hindi mawawala yung family. So that's why I always have my family, and then the rest is, yung background is always the culture. So that's it.
So
now that you explained your inspirations abilities, how about you show us some of your works po and explain what they mean, what techniques you use, or ano?
I have, this one is showcased here. So this is under Stitch exhibit. That's Kublai and Friends. I have these two. It's not in public supposed, but okay. This is supposedly, this is for Manila art. So, that's entitled Tuhon. What's English for Tuhon? Soon. In God's time. God willing in God's time. So it's Tuhon. But looking to this, I get the inspiration from the elements. So we have earth, fire, wind, and water. So I only have earth and fire muna. Alright? Wind and water is at home. It's not this, it's just plain color pa. Why these elements? Because if you get to talk to the IPs, the indigenous group, they have a strong attribution to the elements. Remember, when they plant their crops before, they would call for a ritual. It's to appease the soil, right? And at the same time, they have this high regard to earth, to considering all the rest of the elements also. They would reside near the water, so it's either river banks or sa dagat. But eventually, what is common among all the, like in Davao, we have all the 11 men. What is common is they have high respect and high regard to the gift of nature. So I would like to emphasize that if all this, especially Earth itself, could be, greatly taken care of by the rest of the people, well, eventually we could live a happy life, abundant life, prosperous life, away from maybe pollution and too much of commercialism and modernization. It doesn't mean that we don't need it. We all need it at the same time for progress, but of course, not at the expense of our home. Okay? Not at the expense of our home, which is of course the nature, because that's clearly our source of our life. So that's it.
How about this, Miss Miss? How about this one?
That is already in Shambhala, Living Museum in Cavite. We have that because we have this theme of that's entitled Adak. Adak. It's the assurance of protection and care. Mother and child. I also have father and son like that. So it's part of the series. There are 3 sets of painting. Similarly like that, but this one is influenced by Moro Islam, but the father and son, it was influenced by the IP. So I specifically get to highlight the different lives that we have in Davao itself or in Mindanao. So that's it.
Last Miss. Ito. How about this one?
That one, supposedly the owner of that wants to buy this.
The Puhon.
The Puhon. She's in Manila, and there's no way to access it now, and it's so big. So she wants the elements, all 4 elements combined. So instead of her having this, but this one is for serving already. That's already resourced. Yes, but this one, this is a direct client. This is a commissioned work recently. So all elements are here. So she just saw me online from the Art Fair Philippines last time. So she PM'd me and asked about the details. But this is 2 by 3 feet. So a little half feet of that. But yeah, as much as she wants that also, but yeah, her minds are actually playing with the elements. So that's why I did this. This is entitled Borealis. Borealis is not in the Philippines, but The play of colors, the northern lights. I just have it borealis because the effect of the effect of Mother Earth coinciding with this such full of mystery. I cannot describe it myself, but there is so much behind outside from us, which I would consider. So that's it.
Thank you po, Miss.
Thank you, thank you.
Ipa-pass off na naman po kita sa
Ay, hindi
ating
pa.
next
Okay.
interview.
Alright, hi.
Hi, Miss. So, if doctors treat patients and engineers build structures, what do you think the role of the artist is in society?
Alright. There are different roles to consider. Take for example, like in the Western arts that mostly movements happens. That's protest. That's telling maybe what they are against of. But in general, it actually depends on what's in the heart of the artist. But basically, it's to serve as evidence of his or her existence. So whatever is the product of the artist simply defines or mirrors his or her own soul, should we say, but in a tangible form. So that's why the creation of artworks are being done. But clearly, these are manifestation of existence. Whether the artist talks about abstraction or the artist talks about future, surreal, or whatever. But it could be that it talks about dreams. But more than that, it could be possibilities that we have in our heart for that reason. So that's it.
So, on to the last question. Ready na ka ba? Ready na ka ba? Ready ka na ba, Miss?
Bakit? Ano meron?
Ready ka na, Miss?
Yes. Last na last.
Last na, Miss. Ayaw na, Miss.
Okay, go. Gusto na.
Okay, so what is your message to young artists who have talents in painting and sculpting in order to be successful in the future?
Okay. There are a lot of parents who already ask me, can you tutor this, can you tutor that at an early age? I would always say, no need for the tutor, just give them all the materials. Take for example, provide them with colors, you provide them, they will do explore that, just let the student, let the child explore. But as for the artist, it takes time, it takes a lot of practice, but with that, you simply just have to love what you are doing. Now, I have 3 levels of that. You will start with expressing yourself mostly. You go beyond that level wherein you slowly get to impact now a greater audience. And lastly, you ground yourself, that makes sure your artwork is not plainly now just you and yourself, but it would be your artwork talking to the greater audience that would spread awareness, especially for culture, peace, and respect. So that's it.
Oh, thank you, Miss. So, as a token of our appreciation,